So I'm doing something I've never done before, actually record a video while I'm at work. So if you hear any background sounds, well, sorry about that, guys. So I got some more racism allegations, hooray! Why did this person do a video on me? Well, it's because I left a comment. I'm not joking here. A lot of people say they don't want me to talk about drama so much anymore, but a lot of people also wanted me to cover this video. So I decided to cover this video on my old channel instead of the new one. Plus, this also works because, well, most of their points against me have to do with this channel. And it's also kind of funny because last time I did a video on a racist, and now I'm the one being accused of being a racist. But before we begin, I just want to ask all of you to please not attack this person. They're clearly new to YouTube considering this is their first video. Oh my god, they made another video and it's about me. But I really hope this is the last time I will have to address these allegations. Unfortunately, it probably isn't.
I really didn't want this to be the first video on my channel.
I mean, it didn't have to be, you could have waited, but if you did wait, the Creepshow art drama wouldn't have been as relevant, and you couldn't have used the Creepshow art drama to call me a racist.
Like, I want my first video to be about the rampant racism in the Genshin Impact community.
Does anybody even care about that game? I've certainly never played it, but you do you, I guess.
A vast majority of the comments are applauding Emily for her bravery, expressing sympathy for the trauma she endured, condemning Anthony and Creepshow for the literal demons they are, etc, etc. But as I kept scrolling, I came across a comment from one Just the Robot. The comment reads, "Creepshow art hurt me and friends of mine for almost nothing. The sad thing is, even when she was hurting my friends, they defended her because she helped them out in the past and they didn't want to believe it." Now the issue I took with this comment was the first section, Creepshow art hurt me. Now this can be interpreted as Creepshow art hurt me because she hurt my friends, and this could very well be true.
It's also pretty cool of Emily Artful to heart my comment. A lot of people seem to have a problem with it, saying I was making it all about myself, even though I said, and my friends, but whatever. But yes, hurting my friends did hurt me. Did you not see the 5 videos I made defending Hopeless Peaches? Or the time she called my friend Manga Common sexist because he didn't swear in front of her?
Make a comment. Let it be known that I so appreciate the fact that you try to keep it classy in front of us women by not swearing. I really do appreciate that because my fragile little constitution simply cannot handle any form of cussing. If I hear someone swear even a little bit, I just fall to pieces. So thank you for that, my most chivalrous gentleman. That's so strange that you need to feel the need to not do that, but alright.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
However, if you read the comment thread, it's very clear that he's referring to when Creepshow art called him a racist.
Well, she actually called me a super racist, and if you don't know what a super racist is, I believe it's someone who's an admitted racist. Like someone who you call racist and they just respond with, and? But I'm just nitpicking here, what she said was no big deal. But it's more than just that. You see, she called me that after my apology, and we also talked a little bit in the comment section. She was upset that I said Izzy Izzy looked like a map, and I decided to edit that part out. What I said was stupid. I really only said it because she looked like Pennywise and he's always chasing after kids.
You all taste so much better when you're afraid.
But considering that Izzy Izzy called Mari a pedo because she aged up characters, I think what she did was worse. But she did take down that video, and I'm a lot more cool with her now. Despite being as compliant with her as I could, she just randomly called me that in a video. And she also called my friend Manga Common sexist, which hurt me. At the time, she thought we were trying to defend Hopeless Peaches and we made the doc, I think? Was I really hurt and just crippled with depression? Not really, that's why I only said it in like one comment. Peaches was the one who got the worst of it, that's why I made 5 videos defending her.
Someone replied to this comment saying, "I found it funny that even though all the accusations about you being racist were proven to be false, Creepshow still controlled the false narrative that you were in her second Peaches video. Even though all those accusations have already been proven false. What an absolute clown. I'm sorry for what you've been through, man. And again, I'm sorry for believing that you were racist in the first place. I wish only the best for you." I replied to his blatant lie saying, "To be fair, I didn't disprove them until after, but just stop and a lot of others did."
Blatant lie? That seems a little bit rude. I mean, you could at least assume the guy is mistaken. To call him a liar just because he doesn't share your opinion just seems a little harsh to me.
Someone else replied, "Considering you openly admit to using racial slurs, I don't feel that bad for you given the racism. It shouldn't happen to anyone, but you're not a great person yourself." And Just a Robot, the man everyone swears has grown and changed, responded, "It's not racist if you don't call anyone that, and everyone does it. Would you rather have me lie about doing it?
To be fair, I certainly could have worded that better. I can see how some people might have came to the conclusion that I was saying everybody says racial slurs, so it's okay. No, of course it's not okay to say racial slurs. I don't think someone is racist just because they say a racial slur. I'm autistic and everybody calls everything they don't like retarded. But I don't think that automatically makes someone ableist. Now, if they call me retarded, then yes, they are ableist. But only if they call me that, no other autistic person. I just want to make that clear. But yes, every single person has used a racial slur at least once in their life. Am I saying they say it all the time? No. But I'm pretty sure basically everybody has said a racial slur at least once in their life. I'm also not saying you can't call me out on it just because every other person has done it. Everybody has lied at least once in their life. That doesn't mean we can't call out liars.
Despite all the awful responses, despite all the non-apologies, despite him doubling down on everything in the Prison Mate Luke video, I still went against my better judgment and give this man the benefit of the doubt.
Don't act like you were giving me the benefit of the doubt. If you did give me the benefit of the doubt, a comment wouldn't have made you change your mind. Those apologies from me were genuine, and I had Spoctor look over them to make sure they were good. And as far as YouTube apologies go, it went over way better than James Charles or Shane Dawson's apology, I'll tell you that much. I didn't double down on everything when I made my response to Prison Mate Luke. The guy's an idiot, he was easy to debunk. And he also took down his video, so I don't see what the problem is.
Despite my black intuition telling me that this man's a racist who has learned literally nothing, I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt because I like seeing the best people, you know? But the ancestors have never steered me wrong, bro. Like, I purposely took the wrong turn and now I have egg on my face.
Wait, what? I mean, I read one of the definitions of racism and it's the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities. So do you think being black gives you some sixth sense to tell if someone is racist or not? I'm just kidding, of course, I know you're joking.
I know a lot has happened recently, so let's go down memory lane.
No! Not going through the Toby drama stuff ever again. Every time I talk about it, people get upset with me in the comments saying I'm defending myself, even if I'm doing nothing but admitting where I'm wrong. I'm going to skip this section. This video is going to be long enough. All you guys need to know is I did apologize for it. It was really stupid of me, and I was very misinformed on the situation. CarmenRider went through this stuff a little bit in her own video, so just go check out her video. If they bring up Black SpongeBob, it's not blackface, it's black. It wasn't me, it was my editor, and I fired that editor. And I thought this would be really easy to get out of because the editor, known as Sponge, had a female SpongeBob walk across the screen while Toby was being shown on screen. But he didn't want me to call it female SpongeBob because he said it was Maka Sponge, his own character. Then again, she hasn't really done anything for me. In fact, she has called me a super racist in the past.
The fact that so many people want to die on their swords for her is so weird. Like, make a comment, what the fuck, man? You are literally out here saying that Peaches didn't participate in the garbage video you and super racist Char made, even though she edited the script.
You know, I may have said some racial slurs here and there, but I never called anyone or any group of people it. But here you are, Creepshow, saying that an Asian person has terrible skin for an Asian person. That's clearly directed at someone, and you're a lot more racist than I am. So if I'm a super racist, I guess that would make you a super racist 3.
Slight tangent, but like, bro, you know both of y'all can be racist at the same time, right? Like, Creepshow being trash doesn't negate that. Do I think she said what she said just to get brownie points? Absolutely. Do I think her observation was wrong? No.
Oh, okay, so you failed to make an argument. Got it. Yeah, I left one comment that the very beginning was about me. I don't have any prejudice towards any group, and trust me, if I did, I would be honest about it. And you don't get to just gloss over what my real point was. Let's rewind. But here you are, Creepshow, saying that an Asian person has terrible skin for an Asian person. That's clearly directed at someone, and you're a lot more racist than I am. So if I'm a super racist, I guess that would make you a super racist 3. In that section of the video, I called her out for saying shit that was incredibly uncalled for, and also very racially demeaning. Nobody would deny that. Does that mean I've never said anything racially insensitive in the past? No, of course not. But she was hyperbolically changing the narrative about something I said to make it sound a lot worse than it really was. Almost as bad as the statements she made in the past. You're out here trying to brush that under the rug, drawing a false equivalency.
The most she did to him personally is repeat what black people were saying. For me, it's because of this man's actions, his doubling down on said actions, and his refusal to listen to any black person that doesn't defend him.
But what about all the black people who were saying I wasn't racist? Do their voices not matter? I'm willing to listen, trust me, my roommate talks to me about race all the time. But just because I listen doesn't mean I'll always agree.
Hi, Future Me here. I forgot to mention that there's nothing wrong with other black folks thinking Jar isn't racist and giving their opinion on the matter.
Oh, never mind. She corrected my point that I just made. Well, let's hope she doesn't contradict herself in the very next...
Like, I legit saw one of his black subscribers, assuming he's telling the truth, arguing, well, I'm black and I don't see the issue with Jar using racial slurs, so he can't be racist.
Okay, so there's no issue, but you'll laugh at them. Gotcha.
And like, bro, don't do that. You can still like the man, but don't use your blackness to negate criticism from other black folks.
If someone can say, I'm black, I think Jar is racist, then another black person has just as much right to say, well, I'm black and I don't think he's racist. You haven't been able to use the definition of racism. If I'm so blatantly racist, then why can no one use the definition against me? So when you think something is racist, you being black adds credibility to your claim. But when black people disagree with that claim, those black voices are funny to you. You try to fabricate a lot of points about me not representing black opinions, but I don't remember ever mocking them like you just did.
Now let's get into my response comment. Act just a robot. Bro, I keep trying to give you leeway, but you make it impossible. You built your channel off of dismissing minority, mostly black, voices and concerns, as well as blatant racism.
I don't discriminate against any groups. I used to be homophobic when I was very, very young because I grew up in a very homophobic family. But that's about it. I don't know what this person means by dismissing the concerns of minorities. They don't really go into details, so your guess is as good as mine.
1. You used a black avatar to mock black people, aka blackface, and lied about it.
Wait, I lied about it? When? I didn't make fun of black people, I only made fun of black supremacy. It's not blackface because I didn't put black makeup on my face. Now, if you want to make the argument that it's digital blackface, it's a good-looking black guy without any exaggerated black features. It's just something my artist made for me, thinking that's how I looked like in real life. Yeah, a surprising amount of people think I'm black, which I personally don't get. I also thought the avatar kind of looked like the guy who was saying that the Mississippi was the Nile River.
Listen up! Y'all don't understand. This land that you stand on, that you think is America, this is actually Africa. The dear Mississippi that you love, that you know of, that's the Nile River. This is our land.
If I imitate one black guy, it doesn't mean I'm imitating all of them.
Just a king! I decided to reveal my true colors. I, just a robot, am in fact black. Now I know what you're thinking, but you're a robot. How can you be black? Well, the answer is very simple. You see, you don't have to be black, because black people are magic.
Ultimately, though, I think I actually might take this video down and re-upload it, but have my normal avatar with the sign blackface over it. I think that would be way funnier. I can understand now how this video can upset people, and if I can make people laugh without upsetting people, that's much better.
You're gonna offend people no matter what you do in life. You could fucking breathe wrong and people will call you out. I think this is a very toxic mindset to have, which is, you know, being too scared to say anything or do anything because you might offend someone. Especially in today's era of pussies. You're gonna put yourself in a coma trying that.
And no, the avatar from your Just a King video is entirely separate from your Professor Dreadlocks one.
Did I claim they were the same thing? I don't think I did. That being said, Prismate Luke did insult my best friend's avatar by saying it's just a black-faced version of Just a Robot.
He has multiple videos of just having blackface versions of himself.
That was extremely offensive to him, and that's ultimately why I wanted him to take his video down. They then play a clip from my Just a King video, which was way too long.
And just because you have dark skin, it doesn't make you black. If you're black and you disagree with anything I say in this video, then you are just a dark-skinned white devil. Now these undeniable black facts, I got them from Rac1sim.
Black man, go out, get a gun, and go kill a race soldier. Now, you may be saying that this is some pretty nasty fear-mongering, but you would be wrong. The race war is the only viable solution to our problems, because white people, you can't see them as anything but a collective, and you can't see them as anything but white, and most definitely not as individual.
Mr. Medicare.
Not Jacob, who's Jacob? The so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Seminole Indians.
That is some compelling evidence. You heard him. Native Americans, Latinos, and blacks are the real Jews.
I was helping Jar with the script of this video, and I saw this face. This fucking face in the video, and I just want to explain the context. This character is part of the latest DLC to the cult classic game Age of Empires. When the DLC came out, this was the first time that a person of African descent was on the cover art, and the first time that sub-Saharan African civilizations were actually in the series. Age of Empires is a game that focuses on military history, so you know exactly the type of crowd that would gravitate towards this type of game. Hashtag not all historians. Anyway, the game gets released and a bunch of alt-righties have a collective aneurysm and start making memes using this character. The underlying joke and narrative that they were presenting was that people of African descent didn't create civilizations, and thus the company, by including black civilizations, was exaggerating their accomplishments in history and therefore pandering to the libs, so to speak. Of course, this is fucking ridiculous. There have been many sub-Saharan civilizations and many sub-Saharan peoples in non-sub-Saharan civilizations, such as in Iran, for example. But that's beside the point. The point is that this is kind of like one of those esoteric conservative memes, and it's in the same orbit of the We Was Kangs meme. So this was something that I just wanted to point out before anyone else did, because holy shit, when I saw this character's face, my eyes almost popped out of my fucking skull. In fact, I think they might be on the floor right now. Jar, could you help me get my eyes?
Sure. And of course, my lord and master, Tariq Masheed.
Hey, flex up in this motherfucking nickel. Can't flex up in this motherfucking nickel.
Links to all their videos will be down below, and I want every single one of you white devils to watch them. Now, some of you white devils with melanin deficiency might be wondering, if the black race is so superior in every single way, then how did they lose their history and technology? Well, the answer is simple: cannibalism.
Cannibalism was going on in Europe big time. There's a lot of evidence showing the cannibalism that was going on in Europe. As a matter of fact, this whole vampire phenomenon that we have is rooted in the cannibalism that was going on in Europe.
That's right. In order to gain our black power, you white vampires had to eat us. And that black avatar you saw, that's not what I look like. My artist just took a guess as to what I looked like and drew that. I was holding on to it, and I didn't really know what to do with it until today.
But honestly, it's pretty funny. Maybe I shouldn't have used a black avatar, but, man, I forgot how much I love black supremacy. I might actually start an autist supremacist group. I'm gonna call it the Autist Army.
2. You harassed black reaction channels for years and attacked one for criticizing iDubbbz's usage of the N-word.
Yeah, I hate reaction channels. It's not my fault a lot of them are black, and I also talked about the white ones too. Susie Lou, Spaz Boy. And it's kind of funny how many people called me racist for the Spaz Boy one because a lot of people thought I was black back then. I never sent any racial hate towards them. When I noticed at least one of my fans was sending racial hate to T-Moss Boss, I told people to not do that.
But still, because I recognize one person, I'm just going to say this. Please don't say anything racist towards T-Moss Boss. You have plenty of material to work with. You don't have to focus on his race.
T-Moss Boss is an idiot and a bad person. He actually used the death of Joshua's mother against him. Are you seriously defending this guy? You really think I just went after reaction channels because they were black? Really? Also, notice how they word things. When they do a video on iDubbbz, it's criticism. When I do a video defending iDubbbz, I'm attacking them. iDubbbz didn't say the N-word with any racist intent towards anyone. He did it to make fun of a white girl. Did I say the N-word in that video about Hood Reacts? Yes, and I already apologized for it. Did I also say the word raccoon but without the rack part? Yes. But every time I heard that term used, it was used as a softcore version of Uncle Tom, especially in the context that Hood Reacts is using it. I mean, I said the word, and it's bad, but he calls people the word and it's okay.
Now, the reason why I wanted to make this song is not for clout or any of that. There's nothing to gain from this man because his fans is nothing but racist white people and coon-ass niggas.
So 100% of his fan base is either black or white, so there's no Asians or Latinos who watch him. Interesting, I did not know that.
He just painted all of iDubbbz's fans as either racist or, raccoons, but without the rack part. The dude also said a few homophobic things, and, yeah, Hood Reacts ain't a good person. I understand the word raccoon, but without the rack part, does have some racist origins to it, but I think the word has changed into another version of Uncle Tom in recent years. Language evolves, after all. But I don't want to offend anyone, and the word isn't important to me. It's something I don't really use that often in a sentence, so I won't say it anymore. I'm not gonna lie, guys, at first watching this video I actually got nervous and had a bit of trouble defending myself. But here on out it's going to get a lot easier.
Also, I'm so sorry that every single black guy doesn't share a hive mind, and they have thoughts and opinions that differ from your own. By the way, reaction channels promote white supremacy, so if you're a black guy and you make reaction videos, then you're an Uncle Tom, and you're also a meanie stinky doo-doo face.
Oh no, guys, I gave an example off of what someone else said. How can I show my face in public? I mean, the dude basically said, if you like iDubbbz, you're not a real black man, and I'm showing that you can do the same with basically everything.
But look at this, man. I'm a real authentic YouTuber. I can't hold anything back. I do not fuck with this dude. I can't fuck with no white dude running around on the internet saying the shit cool.
Wait, why did you censor out him saying the N-word? I thought it was alright for black people to say the N-word. I'm so confused. Remember when Obama said the N-word? That was based.
Racism, we are not cured of. Clearly. And it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say in public. That's not the measure of whether racism still exists or not.
Also, it's kind of funny that Hood Reacts says that white people can't say the N-word, but here he is, a presumably straight man saying the F-slur.
Oh, what's the context? Did he say it in a song? Did he call someone it? Or did he just say it? Why is it bad when only white people say it? If he was Asian, would it be okay? If he was black, I know it certainly would be okay. The only time I remember him saying it was when he said, but even then, that was to make fun of a white girl.
Yes, this was the infamous time that I said the N-word after I quoted iDubbbz, and I apologize for it, so what's the issue here? And before that, all I was doing was asking a question. Is that a crime now?
You know what I'm saying? That shit is not cool, bro. You're not gonna catch us running around on the internet talking about, you know...
Cracker Jack? You mean those bags of popcorn covered in caramel? I've never heard that used as an insult. I've heard cracker, but not Cracker Jack. By the way, why do so many racist black people act like white people are offended by the word cracker? I have never seen a white person ever be offended by the word cracker.
Now, I want to make this clear. I wasn't calling Hood Reacts directly a racist. I'm just saying I meet a lot of black racist people who do think white people are offended by the word cracker, but I've never met a white guy offended by the word cracker in my life. But yes, even today I stand by that point, and again, I was basically just asking a question.
Yeah, talk about a whole bunch of racist shit, talk about we're glad all the Jews got burned and all that.
I'm gonna take that part out of context and put it in the beginning of the video.
Am I just commentating on my own fucking video at this point? They're not making an argument, they're just showing clips.
But in all seriousness, that's not a word. That's a statement. Saying the N-word is not the same as saying I wish all black people would die.
Oh my god, guys, I just got exposed. I just said saying the N-word is not the same thing as saying you're happy all the Jews got burned. I mean, oh my god, how can I show my face in public?
You know, because he's just pretty much just saying it's words. Okay, go walk up to someone and say, I'm glad 9/11 happened. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, once again, that's a statement. And second, I actually went outside and said that to a few people. You guys don't have to take my word for it, but you can try it yourself. Worst case scenario is you're going to get in an argument.
Okay, that was a pretty bad take. In all seriousness, guys, don't go up to people and say, I'm glad 9/11 happened. I will admit I was bullshitting there. I don't even make 9/11 jokes anymore, mainly because I only know two and they both always fall flat.
If y'all got such a problem with words, what about the motherfuckers who's taking a kneel during the national anthem?
Oh, that? Well, I don't care about that. Trump does, but I don't. If I was in Trump's shoes, I would say things like, yeah, check me out, I'm king. These people are kneeling to me.
Oh my god, you guys, I don't have a problem with black people, gulp, exercising their First Amendment rights. I'm just saying if I was in Trump's shoes and I was Trump, that's what I would do. Am I saying he should do it? Not really. I'm just saying that's what I would do if I was Trump. And Hood Reacts is seriously comparing saying the N-word to someone kneeling at a football game. Yes, I'm about as patriotic as the next guy, but that flag represents freedom. And that guy had the freedom to exercise his First Amendment right. Okay, I'm just gonna skip my video and get on to their next point.
3. You apologize for using that hard R, yet admitted you would continue to use the N-word if your black friends were okay with it.
And I understand that word does have history, so I don't call black people that word. Unless, of course, they're cool with me using the GA with them.
What I do in private with my friends is none of your fucking business.
4. You dismiss the existence of cultural appropriation, the lack of minority representation in video games, and criticism of the Confederate flag.
Again, there's no argument here, they're just saying stuff. Oh boy, they're gonna play a lot of my videos again. Let's hope at least one of the points they just made comes true.
Sometimes they're shrouded in language like pimps and hoes party.
Pimps and hoes? Really? First of all, if being a pimp or a hoe is part of your culture, it's really nothing to be proud of. Second, pimps and hoes are not really a part of a certain culture. It's more of a profession thing. And before someone says that most pimps are black, well, guess what? Most astronauts are white. So by that logic, no one but white people can throw a space-themed party. You see how that sounds?
Okay, nothing wrong here so far. So if I throw a pimps and hoes party, am I taking the culture away from black people or something? I'm joking, of course. I never throw or go to parties. I'm a loser.
Every single person should be able to throw whatever themed party they want.
I still agree with this. What's your point? I mean, I guess you shouldn't throw a Nazi-themed party, but I'm pretty sure most people knew what I meant.
I was just in New York City. It was a city full of different people with different cultures and different backgrounds. They interacted and celebrated different cultures. The people who say, stop appropriating my culture, are the real racists.
I mean, if I put on a sombrero and someone says I can't wear it because I'm not the right race, then yes, they are racist. Now, are there examples of cultural appropriation that did happen and are people who pointed out automatically racist? No. Is it appropriate, for example, a party themed around where everybody is dressed up as Wendigos? No, obviously not. Is it appropriate to hold a party celebrating Los Dia de los Muertos? If done respectfully with a genuine respect of the culture, then yes.
But guess what? We all realize that what you actually mean is come dressed as the most offensive stereotypes of black people, Asians, Latinos, Native Americans, Indians, etc. that you can muster.
Or maybe they just want to celebrate a different culture. Have you ever thought of that?
Do you guys know who this woman is? This is the same woman who tried to sue Sargon of Akkad and failed. She tried to sue Sargon because he played a lot of clips from her videos in one of his videos. And that's what this person is doing with my videos right now. I'm not saying I will or should sue this person. I'm just saying if we're going off of the logic of the woman's video I'm covering, then yes, I should sue them.
I'll sue ya! I'll take all your money! I'll sue ya if you even look at me funny!
Now obviously you shouldn't go to a black themed party and do blackface and act like the most stereotypical black person, but there's nothing wrong with trying to celebrate the culture of another, well, culture.
You hijack part of a culture for personal use without permission, not out of respect or tribute, but because, oh my god, Native American headdresses are so cute.
So people have to get permission? From who? Let's say a bunch of white people want to throw a Mexican-themed party. Do they get the permission from one Mexican, the Mexican government, or do they have to make a petition that only Mexicans can sign?
Oh no, guys, I asked a question. That means I'm denying the existence of cultural appropriation. You know, cultural exchange happens all the time, right? Do people sometimes make mistakes about culture? Yeah, a lot of people think samurai are from China, but they're not.
Just so you know, every single person has my permission to throw a robot-themed party. Gentrification is not a plot by white people to destroy black people. Gentrification doesn't just affect poor black people. It affects poor people in general. It just so happens that a lot of terrible neighborhoods tend to be poor black neighborhoods. And if the government kept them around, it would be damaging to the economy.
And that is true. A lot of poor white people either live in the countryside or in trailer parks, while a lot of poor black people tend to live in the inner city.
Really getting sick and tired of people who think just because they're a certain race means they automatically know more about a certain culture. Now, this is purely anecdotal, but as some of you might know, I was made in America. I was talking about the American-Mexican War, and this girl comes in, and she claims she knows more about it than me because, get this, she's part Mexican. Well, guess what? I was made in America. You know, the country that actually won the war.
Yes, the girl said that the amount of land the Americans took was actually a gift from Mexico. I am not making this up. And that's all the clips of my video she shows. Never once do I say cultural appropriation doesn't exist. It's just me criticizing this person's video, but whatever. Okay, let's move on to the Confederate flag one. I ultimately did take this video down because I kind of found it cringy and it was one of my first videos.
Now you wait, it don't mean none of that white supremacy.
Really? In 1863, an earlier version of the flag had a white background, which the designer said represented, and I quote, the supremacy of the white man.
Good job. You actually got something right for once.
What? You said I dismissed the criticisms of the Confederate flag, but I accepted this one. What the hell is wrong with you? They discontinued that flag because people kept on mistaking it for a surrender flag.
It's about our historical legacy.
Yeah. No.
Yes it is.
Wait, what's the problem? It is a thing that happened in America's past. We can't just pretend like it didn't exist. What did you think my point was?
The racist man who murdered 9 black people in a church stood with this flag in a photo celebrating the racism it stood for.
I'm really getting sick of people saying things like that. Just because a Boy Scout shot up a school, it doesn't mean they're all like that. What that man did was very wrong. However, you can't judge a whole group of people just because of one man's actions. Just because black people tend to be in prison more often than white people, it does not mean we should treat them any differently.
Yeah, this was a stupid point on my end. Did I really compare people who like the Confederate flag to an entire race of people who don't have a choice to be what race they are? No, you can say that those who fly the Confederate flag over their house are racist, that's one thing, but you shouldn't call them all mass murderers. Dylan Roof was an extremely fucked up individual, and I believe he's still on death row. One thing I did learn recently is this is actually not the Confederate flag. I'll link a full video about the real Confederate flag down below if you want to know more information.
Confederate government selected this as her official flag and named it the Stars and Bars, so calling this the Stars and Bars is wrong on 2 counts. That's not its name, and this is a cross. These are bars. Army wanted to avoid friendly fire and so took one of their rejected designs and squarified it into a battle flag. The Navy too liked this design and eventually switched, though using a brighter, presumably non-Yankee, blue. 2 years later, the Confederate government again changed the flag, adding a red bar and a new tough name. Also, the design slightly rectangularified the battle flag. This could no longer be mistaken for surrender and was the last flag as 36 days later, the Confederacy surrendered.
All 3 of the examples listed include complex subject matter that need their own individual videos basically debunking them, so I'll probably work on that sometime in the future.
Oh goody. They don't really go over the video game stuff at all. I know which video they're talking about, but the person me and my Puerto Rican friend covered, one of his examples for white people in video games was Shepard from Mass Effect, who you can customize to look however you want. Should there be more black characters in video games? Yes! Super Smash Bros. Doesn't have a single black character unless you customize a Mii. Sorry that the guy we covered had examples that fucking sucked.
I couldn't include the video game one because the whole video is just Jar being loud and wrong, and well, that's true for all his content.
Okay, apparently you can't customize Shepard to look like any race you want.
5. You played the Oppression Olympics with interracial and gay couples in the Steven Universe PSA video.
Oppression Olympics really only works when you're talking about your own group to another group. I'm not gay or part of any of the LGBT.
Deny that you did, and purposely left out the section where you admitted to telling your black trainer that gay people have it worse.
There's a ton of anti-LGBT stuff in the black community that we almost never talk about. I've even met a few black guys who believe that the LGBT community is white nationalism. I guess I'm just a little bothered about this because I recently discovered my personal trainer is a black Israelite, and we got into an argument about who had more rights, gay people or black people.
Yeah, and he was the one who started that argument. The dude is an absolute nutcase. He believes in like every conspiracy. He unironically said Hitler was a good guy who was on the side of the black man because he was killing the white Jews for stealing the black religion. I brought up Obama, the first black president, and asked him to name the first gay president. He said Obama. Why? Because according to him, Michelle Obama used to be a man, and their kids were adopted from Kenya. I'm not making this shit up. This is really what he believed.
He told me that any gay slur would be considered a hate crime. You can say whatever you want to a black person, even the N-word, and nothing bad will happen to you. Which I completely disagree with. I mean, way more people have been canceled for using the N-word than the British term for a cigarette.
Yes, and that is true. What's wrong with what I'm saying so far?
We had a black president, or at least a half-black president. As far as I know, we haven't had a gay president, at least an openly gay president.
And that's why I put this joke in. This is actually what my personal trainer thinks.
Pete Buttigieg didn't even come close to winning. As someone who's neither gay or black, I'm just going to say I think gay people have it worse in America. At least from what I've seen.
Okay, so you said earlier in the video that I admitted to my personal trainer that gay people had it worse than black people. I never fucking said that. I said that now in this video. I didn't say that to my personal trainer. He brought up the conversation, saying things like, you can get canceled or lose your job for any gay slur, but no matter what you say about a black person, nothing bad will happen to you. Which I completely disagree with. Now, I'm not saying my opinion is fact here. I'm just saying, to me personally, this is what I think. Keep in mind, I grew up in a very homophobic environment. Obviously, you can pretend not to be gay, but you can't really pretend not to be black unless you're online, I guess. So yes, black people do have to deal with being black all the time. You brought up black representation earlier, but there's way more black representation than gay representation. If I made a kid's cartoon with a black guy in it, no one would give a shit. If there was a gay character, that could cause some controversy. Yes, the new Star Wars trilogy did do Finn dirty, making him less and less visible on the posters as the movies went on. And they did that because of China. China's not exactly the most pro-black country. But they completely removed the lesbian kissing scene in the Chinese version of the movie. The thing I left out is something you just made up. And even if I did leave it out, it's just you didn't mention X, therefore biased argument. And if you think about it, my personal trainer was the one who was playing the Oppression Olympics, not me. I mean, he has to be doing some kind of Olympics. He is a personal trainer after all.
6. You attack Milo Stewart for trying to discuss the intersectionality of sexuality and race, and allow your collab partner to use multiple slurs in that video.
I have seen so many YouTubers talking about Black Lives Matter this summer.
I wonder why that is.
With topics like, why is it important? And why do we say Black Lives Matter instead of All Lives Matter?
Well, the main reason is because Black Lives Matter hates white people and are racist towards white people, so to them, their lives don't matter to the Black Lives Matter movement. That's why you don't say all lives matter. Because basically now, all lives matter is the same equivalent to saying kill all the niggers, chinks, and spics.
Now, Optimus Prime's points are his points. I don't know what the guy's race is. Ultimately, when I used to be a part of the anti-SJW community, I was focused on the anti-feminism stuff, and I didn't really get into the whole anti-BLM stuff, aside from, I guess, this video. Optimus Prime is to the right of me, and while collabing with him on 2 different videos did really well, I ultimately decided not to continue working with him because, well, I thought he was a bit too harsh, and I didn't really agree with everything he was saying. I will say I myself didn't exactly have the best view of BLM, and while I'm sure there are a few BLM people who don't care about the lives of white people, ultimately, though, now that I have access to my old channel, I'll try to edit some things out. If I can't, I'll probably just unlist the video.
A lot of people seem to think that Black Lives Matter pushes their activism into spaces where it is neither relevant nor necessary. However, I believe that we can't really have a conversation about LGBT rights without addressing race.
Well, I think you could very easily talk about LGBT issues without addressing race. I'm not gonna lie, there are parallels. However, to say you can't talk about one without talking about the other is just ridiculous.
Yep, and I 100% stand by that point.
And we can't talk about police brutality without talking about LGBT rights.
2 men should have the right to get married just like a man and a woman. There, I just talked about LGBT rights without talking about police brutality. It's actually quite easy.
When you hit the nail on the head just right, folks. I agree with Jar here. If you guys want to get married and be miserable like the rest of us, go right ahead. Won't stop you. Mostly because I do not care.
My god, half of this video is mine. Get to 1,000 subs already so I can copyright claim it.
It's free real estate.
After all, a 2013 report from the National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs details that 67% of the victims of anti-LGBT homicides are transgender women of color.
Okay, first of all, what do you mean by people of color? Do you mean black people or just people who aren't white? And second, what does this have to do with police brutality? I will agree, Milo, that there are many similarities between homophobia and racism. However, that doesn't mean you can't talk about one without talking about the other. Cake and ice cream both taste good. However, you can very easily talk about cake without bringing up ice cream.
And also, if we're really going to try and go back in time, how about you just call them the coloreds, like the old days?
Okay, I'll give this person a point for showing what Optimus Prime said in my video. That was pretty messed up of him. But they're just showing what I'm saying without making a single argument. I'm just going to skip ahead to see if there's anything I disagree with nowadays.
Hi, so I just realized the context as to what Milo was talking about and why they're correct is missing. So I'm going to read this small snippet from this Vox article because I believe it summarizes everything perfectly. The article is Whitewashing the Orlando Shooting Victims Only Makes LGBTQ People of Color More Vulnerable to Violence by Michelle Garcia.
I mean, yes, you can bring up that a lot of the victims were Latin, but the Muslim man didn't target them for that. He did it because they were gay. He didn't kill them for the color of their skin. And were they really whitewashed? All I heard was that they were gay. Not bringing up someone's race is not whitewashing. If you want to bring up that they're Latin, that's fine. But the guy, at the end of the day, killed them because they were gay.
90% of the 49 people killed were Latino or Latino descent, specifically 23 victims were Puerto Rican, according to New York Times. Yet when it came time for politicians to extend their thoughts and prayers to the victims, many of them, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Paul Ryan, glossed over the fact that the victims were part of these marginalized groups, but it was mostly Latinos, as though LGBTQ people could not also be Latino.
What the fuck? How did you come to that conclusion? As far as I'm aware, no one said that all the victims were white or that most of them were white. And where did anyone imply that those who are of Latino descent can't be gay? What the fuck is going on?
But the Times also reported that LGBTQ people are the most likely group to be attacked when compared individually with racial and religious groups. Half of all hate crimes are due to race, with all races combined.
I don't know how true that study is, but it sounds accurate. I mean, there's a lot more people of other races, especially in America, compared to, well, people who are a part of the LGBT. Obviously, if you have more of one group, there's going to be more hate crimes towards that one group just by, well, basic math. But then again, this is not an argument because the guy killed them because they were LGBT and not because of their race. I don't even know the race of the guy who shot up the gay bar because it's not important to me. Let's say it's 100% scientifically proven that people of Latin descent get discriminated against more than LGBT people. Just because people of Latin descent have more hate crimes committed against them, it does not mean if a guy commits a hate crime against gay people and a lot of them happen to be Latin, that it's also a hate crime against people of Latin descent.
That makes it all the more important to avoid whitewashing the victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting. LGBTQ still translate to many people as white, gay, and male.
If I don't mention the shooter's race, does that mean I'm also whitewashing the mass shooter? Just asking. I mean, if you want to make the argument that most people think of a white guy when they hear the word gay, then I can also make the argument that most people think of a white guy when they hear the word mass shooting. But white people do a lot of mass shootings.
So yeah, I hope with the added context you can understand why what was said in that clip was so disgusting and just flat out wrong.
Actually, you didn't make a single argument, you just read an article which literally debunks none of what I just said. And isn't this a form of oppression Olympics? A guy specifically goes to a gay bar to kill gay people, and you say, but what about POCs? When it's a hate crime against a POC, I'll call it a hate crime against a POC. When it's a hate crime against a gay person, I'm going to call it a hate crime against a gay person.
I did some more research, and it says that the perpetrator called 911, telling them that it was an act of retaliation for the airstrike, the killing of, among others, ISIL militant Abu Wahib in the previous month. He told the negotiator to tell America to stop the bombing. This is straight from the Wikipedia article even. It does mention that someone who claimed to know him believed it could have had some racial motivations against Latino men because he was supposedly afraid he had contracted an STD from a gay man of Latino descent. Though this is ultimately speculation of the friend, and I don't think it's nearly as concrete as the words that came out of the perpetrator's mouth as he was committing the crime. Though it does warrant mention, and I do think that while oftentimes minorities aren't always represented in LGBTQT spaces, in this particular instance, I'm honestly not sure that negating to mention that was disregarding that whole fact in and of itself. But feel free to leave your opinions in the comments because I'm really not sure about this.
Milo Stewart, who I'm pretty sure was still a minor at the time, was just trying to use their privilege as a white person to bring more awareness to this issue.
The issue that a bunch of people who were killed because they were gay just so happened to be Latino. Whether Milo was a minor at the time or not, it's not an argument and I don't give a shit. Milo Stewart unironically thinks that all white people are racist, all men are misogynistic, and that all cis people are transphobic.
All white people are racist, all men are misogynistic, all cisgender people are transphobic, all members of a majority are biased against the members of the minority or oppressed group.
Milo Stewart gave a shout out to Ghazi Kozo, who's an anti-Semite, and my favorite black supremacist on the internet. Seriously, you guys gotta go check out Ghazi Kozo.
All white people are racist. Each and every Jeffrey.
They unironically believe that we should shut down all prisons and all police stations and just have social workers handle everything.
But these two grown men freaking attacked him for it.
What was Optimus Prime's age back then? Mind telling me? Oh, you don't know? Surprising. And for the last fucking time, stop calling criticism attacking. I'm kind of getting sick of it.
And I don't know where to begin with the BuzzFeed and Trump supporting videos.
I mean, the other choice was Hillary, and you always vote for the person who you think is the least bad. I was a Bernie bro at first, but after Hillary stole the election from him, I wanted to get back and vote for Trump. But even then, I actually didn't vote for Trump, I just claimed I did for the meme. At the time, I lived in California, and why would I even bother voting for him? It's California, it's gonna go to Hillary no matter what. It's not about the popular vote, it's about the electoral vote. Only thing I voted for at the time was the legalization of marijuana. Any support I had for Trump quickly disappeared after he banned trans people from the military. And I personally was a bigger fan of Trump during his Reform Party days. Ultimately, I was hoping that Trump would make the Republican Party more open to LGBT ideas, but obviously that really didn't happen. Still, he was a lot better than Bush. Fuck that guy. If Bernie got elected, it would be the greatest thing ever. He wouldn't get a single policy passed. Were all my answers to the BuzzFeed questions perfect? No. Would I go back and change a few of them? I guess. But if they didn't want those questions to be answered, they wouldn't have asked them. How would you feel if I made a video called Questions a White Guy Has for Black People?
When confronted with all this and then some, your immediate reaction was to double down.
Yeah! Wait, what? No! I apologized for the stuff I thought was true, and for the stuff that wasn't true, I debunked. How the fuck did I double down?
Use the "I'm not racist, I have black friends" subscribers excuse.
I actually said the opposite. I know plenty of hoteps who date white guys and white girls. The most racist white guy I know dated a black girl. I literally said the opposite. This is a blatant lie. If a black person calls me racist, I'm not automatically racist. If a black person says I'm not racist, it doesn't automatically make me not racist.
And you said black friends / subscribers to dismiss our criticism of you.
People told me, hey, you're white. You don't get to decide what is and isn't racist. So then I pointed out that yes, my black roommate, Shady Do-Rags, Hi Fluffy 420, don't think I'm racist. And you guys are perfectly welcome to criticize me, but you're not welcome to lie about me. I like how you always call your lies criticisms and my criticisms attacks. It's pretty manipulative.
Even now, you're showing that you haven't learned a thing.
Really? Because I sat down and spoken with my roommate plenty of times, and he has told me stories of things he had to deal with because of the way he was born. And I told him about struggles I had to deal with because of my autism, and we both came to a greater understanding of each other.
Like, y'all are screaming about accountability, holding other people accountable, and allyship, being allies to POC, but refuse to check this man. Like,
It's so blatant that no one has been able to use the definition against me. And if I'm so racist, why the fuck would I apologize?
Who the fuck are you to apologize to?
Even then, most of your examples are from years ago, so at best it would prove that I used to be racist. I'll admit, I used to be homophobic. I don't discriminate or have any bigoted intentions towards anyone of any race. Plenty of videos have already been made on me. I have apologized. I was held accountable. What more could you want? I'll tell you what they want. They want me gone, permanently. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm staying.
They ain't getting rid of me. I'm not getting rid of me. I'm staying here. Fuck them.
Turkey Tom has done a few questionable things and has been called out by channels way bigger than himself, and he's still on YouTube. Keemstar is still around. iDub is still around. Pyrocynical is still around. Because saying the N-word doesn't get you permanently cancelled. The only two things that can cancel you are pee-pee around kids and yourself. I'm done talking about this video. I could have gone through more stuff like her bringing up Omnia's apology video, which I kind of find hilarious considering Omnia took down that video several weeks ago. And I heard that Omnia is no longer sorry to Hopeless Peaches and she's gonna make another video on her. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm really done with the Hopeless Peaches situation. I was bashing on Creepshow art long before it was cool. A lot of people didn't like me at the time, and I put myself at massive risk when I made my video defending her. And it hurt me that Creepshow art did not make any effort to make amends with Peaches despite everything I did. I can't believe you made this entire video just because I left a comment. Not even because of the comment, just the first couple of words of the comment. Emily Artful used to be an anti-feminist just like me, and she hearted my comment. So I don't see how you guys came to the conclusion that I was trying to distract from her story and make it all about me. I helped out Hopeless Peaches, and so did Emily Artful, but I didn't even know about her existence until she made her Creepshow art video. So if she doesn't like me, that's up to her. In this video, you defended people like T-Moss Boss, who called the entire Thomas the Tank Engine adult fan base pedos.
If you're 13 or 20, 19, 22, or any other age, you're 40-something years old, and you're still watching that Thomas the Train video, I would not be surprised if you were in prison, okay, for molesting a child.
And I already talked plenty about what he did to Joshua.
R.I.P. to his mom. Like, no disrespect to her, but it's like, your son's out here living foul. Like, I just want that to be addressed right now. Your son's out here living very, very wrong, so... Hopefully one day it's like people realize that exploiting a dead woman, it's like, it's kind of wrong. Bro, like, why are you exploiting your mom for views? Do I still feel like all apologetic for it and stuff? No, I don't.
You defended people like Prison Mate Luke, who's a well-known liar, and called Peaches a suicide baiter.
If you need a break, you need one. I'm not saying you don't have mental health problems, but you would constantly come back to post more things than beg for sympathy. And when you were getting genuine criticism for all the garbage you've done, you decided to suicide bait your audience.
T-Moss Boss, Creepshow Art, Prison Mate Luke have all called me racist, and they've all proven to be worse people than me. If I'm such an evil, terrible racist, then why does it seem like everybody who calls me it end up revealing themselves to be even worse than I am? I'm not racist. I have been racially insensitive before, and I am going to work on that. And I have worked on it. You claim that I revived the Toby drama, which I still don't understand what people fucking mean by that. But you're trying to revive the drama with me and Prison Mate Luke. You're literally talking about videos that are now unlisted. Yes, I am still bashing Prison Mate Luke, but I'm talking about specifically the drama directly between me and him. Not all the recent things I've said about him. And I think you're full of shit when you said you made this video because of my comment. I think you made this video because you had a chance to link it to the Creepshow art drama so it would get a lot more views. If Prison Mate Luke's video on me didn't really turn me into a bandwagon, then what makes you think you can? A whole bunch of smaller YouTubers are now making videos on you, and rightfully so. I do hope to live to see the day when discrimination is over. But one of the steps to achieving that goal is to not dilute the term racism, or to tell people that they're not allowed to use their blackness if they're defending someone they like. Am I annoyed by this situation? Yes, but it's not going to ruin me. Anyways, if you guys want to see a really good video actually about real racism, check out the last video I did with my best buddy Professor Dreadlock.
Bro, I am so tired of this man trying to tell me what racism is. Like, I'm sorry, but if you have to pull out the definition of racism, you don't know what it is, and you have no business talking about race issues. Like, you're basically admitting to not understanding the complexities and nuances of racism and how it's evolved over time. And I don't expect Jar to fully grasp the concept of racism. He's a white dude in America.
So by definition, I'm not racist. Okay. One of the many definitions for racism was being prejudiced. If I'm not prejudiced, then I guess I'm not a bad person. And if I won't get it because I'm white, then why are we having this conversation at all?